Hammond,
Here.
Huckabee,
Here.
Nasco,
Yes.
Pooley,
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
All right, if you guys will stand and pray and say the pledge with me. Lord, we come tonight and we just thank you. We thank you for the city. We thank you for the city that you've blessed us with, for the employees, for the citizens. And we just ask that you give us wisdom and peace and show us how to lead this city in the way that you have commanded us to. In Jesus' name, amen. Pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll start with the consent agenda. A motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second,
I'll second it.
vote.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Pooley,
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Okay. At this time, we'll open it up to remarks or inquiries by the audience not pertaining to any item on the agenda. If you would like to speak, I ask that you come up to the podium, and we are going to limit it to 2 minutes. Anybody has any remarks? Okay.
You gonna speak now?
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Courtney Hill, and I just have something to say about City Hall. So here, I'm going to say, I don't know, a week or two ago, I have an elderly friend, and she's got bad heart trouble and COPD. She's just not in good shape. Anyway, she rents my Andy's house. Well, I guess it was the cutoff day on electric. She hadn't paid her. Normally, I go by there, I get the rent for her, take it to my auntie, remind her about the electric, all this. She's 77 years old. You would think she's in her 90s, but anyway. So I go by her. I didn't do it this month. Matter of fact, I didn't even get the rent till halfway through the month, which isn't that big a deal. It's my auntie, but anyway. So I go by her house, and she's telling me, she's sitting on the couch, and she just looks down, and she has a pen she's trying to write. And I said, what's the matter? And she said, well, she said, I was sitting here, and I seen out the window the city guys, 2 city boys, men, whatever, showed up. I'm pretty sure they were here to turn my electric off. So I went out there, and I told them, please don't turn my electric off. I will go pay it right now. And they said, okay, well, we'll give you a minute as long as you're going right now to take care of it. So she did. She wasn't feeling well. She wasn't getting around well that day. She was having a really bad day. Her friend took her down there, and her friend went in for her, which I've done 100 of times for people. Go pay their electric, say this is for such and such person or address. So she went in to do it, and I'm not sure if she talked with, I'm not sure which one she talked to, which lady, but anyway. They said, no, you can't pay this electric for her. She needs to get the electric in her own name, and needs to pay a $300 deposit. Well, at this time, it was it was just a few minutes before 3 o'clock.
We're coming up on 2 minutes, if you don't mind.
Well, I asked to be on the agenda
Okay.
so that I could speak and tell my story, and there's no way I can tell the story in 2 minutes because this went on for like 4 days.
Can you maybe just tell us, like, the main part of what it is that we're needing to know?
The whole thing is the main part. I'm sorry, but it is. I mean,
It's not on the agenda, so we're not going to be able to go into a long...
well, I talked to Stephen Kyle, and I asked him to put me on the agenda, and he said he would, and he took my name down and asked what it was about and took that down and said he would put me on the agenda.
Corey?
So, I mean, I asked to be on the agenda, and I was told I was being put on the agenda.
Well,
So why am I not on the agenda?
I've seen the original draft agenda and the one that got posted. You wasn't on either one of those, okay? So the fact that it wasn't on there is, we can't really discuss it, and so we do have to limit the time to 2 minutes, and I have yet 2:09 when I push pause, so.
Okay, so can we not ask why I wasn't put on there, since I asked to be and was told I was?
My suggestion is if you want to meet with the mayor and I, so we can talk about what happened that day, and then you can explain everything that happened to the mayor. And then if we need to have a special meeting or something, we can have a special meeting and talk with the board.
I'm not real sure how y'all think that's right. If I asked to be on the agenda so I could say my piece for the public to hear, and I think I'm on the agenda, so I'm rushing around from a doctor's appointment out just to get here, and then I get here and y'all tell me I'm not on the agenda after I was told I would be put on the agenda. I don't quite understand that.
When it was reported to me, we did review on these days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We're not finished with it yet, so we will call you and ask you to come in and talk with us about those incidents.
And you can
Okay.
always write a letter to the editor as well.
And you could always go to a city council meeting too and say your piece after you've asked to be on the agenda. But clearly, they don't want the story told. So I'm sure that's why I'm not on the agenda. And that's fine. I got it. I want us to be put on it again. I don't need it. Thank you.
Any other remarks?
I wasted my time coming up here, thought I was on the agenda. I believe somebody should be asking
Yeah,
Stephen Powell why I'm not on the agenda.
I asked to be on the agenda 2 weeks ago. Are you what's your position?
I'm the manager.
We'll ask you to
You're the
stand up
city
here,
manager.
if you don't mind.
I was told you would call me
Okay,
back.
That's the door.
What's
I've
your name?
waited, Gary Kerbo. I've waited 2 weeks. I've still not heard from you.
Oh, Gary Kerbo, that was a police case, right?
No, this is wanting to be on the agenda to find out why nothing's been done with the sand lot next to me. I've spent $150 on cab filters on an illegal business on private property.
Steve, was that the civil case with Mr. Kerbo?
You were supposed to contact him and let him know that I wanted on the,
Well,
Agenda.
Steve Kyle takes care of our agenda.
right,
so-
but it had to go through you because everybody quit for some reason or something's what I'm hearing.
Nobody's quit, but Steve
Well-
Kyle takes care of our agenda, but if I'm not mistaken, I thought that was a civil case, and didn't you get called out to his house?
I advised,
Okay, hold up, we're getting into discussion, okay?
Yeah.
So we're telling people to limit discussion, I mean, because this is for him to provide remarks to the board. It's not for us to talk about, I mean, that's not.
Well, this was brought up 2 months ago.
So-
Nothing's been done about it.
Can we meet with him tomorrow?
Yeah, I can do that.
Hey, anybody here live through the Dust Bowl? I live through the Dust Bowl every day once the wind gets over 17 miles an hour. I have to go out and clean my air conditioner because the coils clog up. I've spent $150 on cab filters so we can drive down the road without it clogging up. It clogs up my cab filter where the air conditioner don't work. It's a residential property, not a commercial property. You could have stopped the taco stand from going in beside me back before they ever opened up. But you called them the night I complained 2 months ago.
I don't even know who runs
That's
the taco
what she
stand.
said.
I have no idea
Okay,
who runs the taco stand.
Let him talk, this is his opportunity to
Nothing
address the
is
board.
Do you
getting
have a
done
timer?
on these
Yes,
illegal
I'm
commercial
stopping it because we keep interrupting
businesses.
this. He got 30
The
seconds.
sand pile has never paid a penny in taxes to y'all. Why do you allow it to keep going on? You got Bonnie's liquor store over there. That is residential, not commercial. And they're adding on some more to it. Did they even get a building permit? No. The city is not doing their job. Whoever the lawyer is should be able to stop this immediately.
Your 2 minutes is up. So,
That's terrible. City's not doing anything they're supposed to be doing. And you can't even get on the deal, the agenda.
Are there any other remarks at this time?
Took me 12 years to get on it the last time.
We're going to move on to item 8, the financial report for May 2025 by the city manager.
Everybody has their copies in front of them with their charts. And this is, we're wrapping up the fiscal year end, that in, today is the beginning of the fiscal year, but we made, for the month of May, we made $47,888 in sales tax, in use tax, $9,414.76. Alcohol beverage tax, $6,680.82. Franchise tax, we made $26,542.90. That is due to, again, we're finding people who owe us for the franchise fees and we've collected on it. Our other revenue is $635.92. Our fines are $1,924. Our transfers stayed the same. The easement stays the same. The miscellaneous looks large because of the, well, May's is due to the insurance checks from OMAG that we had a deposit that we'll discuss later on down the road. Our water revenues, $48,188.42. The water rehab fee is $3,784.50. The electric revenue is $145,573. Our wind power is $21,788.32. Our sanitation is $41,490. Our recycle is $558.80. Our recycle fee basically is the same, $6,636. Wastewater is $21,000, and our penalty revenue is $4,190. Overall, we're positive on the MUA side and the general fund side. We did stop all of the expenses in April, so May doesn't have too terrible of expenses. We stopped that due to the fiscal year. So for the ending of the year, it doesn't look terrible.
Does anyone have any questions? Commissioners? Okay. Thank you, Irma. Police report by the chief of police or Mr. Olson?
I'll be covering for Chief Taylor today. He's out doing a training for other departments and helping out with them growing in their departments themselves. So we had 33 incident reports this past month, 3 simple assaults, 7 other offenses. We had a couple of public pieces, some trespassing and vandalisms, and a total of 11 warrants that we arrested for. Other than that, we also had 9 more cleared files. 2 of them were charges filed and 7 were cleared by arrest. We had 2 car accidents, 460 call logs, which is a little bit of a jump from where we've been, but it's kind of hot in the summer, and that's kind of when things happen to come up a little bit of a tick. Abandoned vehicles, 6 business alarms, and 4 residential alarms. We had 30 animal calls, assisted other agencies, 7 BOLOs. We had breaking enterings, a child custody matter, 4 disturbances, 2 domestic disputes, some requests for extra patrols. The big things we did have do is we had 26 follow-ups, 186 information requests or followings. Usually that fills up with the if somebody has a question and all that. Rather than anything else, we just tell them, come talk to us, and we kind of filled in some gaps for people. 2 harassments, and 17 additional requests to speak with officers, and 3 stolen property reports. Any questions?
Thank you. Fire report by the fire chief, Mr. Campbell.
So we had a total of 5 motor vehicle accidents, 3 fire alarms, 1 down power line, 1 gas leak, 5 EMS assists, 3 grass fires, helicopter standby for landing zone. We had 4 of them, total of 23.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to item 11, discussion and possible action to approve ordinance number 46-1, an ordinance of the Board of City Commissioners for the City of Mangum, Oklahoma, amending Title I, Chapter 7, Section 172F1A, by providing dues per person instead of parcel of land, providing severability, amending all ordinances, policies, or resolutions at variance, and declaring an emergency.
This is the ordinance that Mr. Gamble had requested. We had previously, this has been on the books for some time, but previously, what the ordinance stated was you had to pay so much per, basically 160 acre tract. And so in order to help more people take advantage of that program, we've not limited to 160 acres, so it's just per person. So that's what it is. And so what you kind of need to do, if you want to pass this ordinance, is you have to pass it and you've got to declare an emergency. Mechanically, what that means, instead of having to publish the entire ordinance in the newspaper and give the newspaper all your money, you just have to do the top of it and save the city some money. So,
No jabs thrown, none.
if you know how many checks I wrote for legal publications, maybe it was just a little bit of a jab.
Okay, so we do need to declare this an emergency and then approve the
Yeah,
ordinance.
so whoever makes a motion needs to make a motion to pass the ordinance as an emergency, basically.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to pass the ordinance number 4671, emergency.
Second,
I'll second.
vote.
Cameron,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Item 12, discussion of possible action to approve ordinance number 467-2, an ordinance of the Board of City Commissioners for the City of Mangum, Oklahoma, adding a new chapter to be codified in Title II, Chapter 5, creating a Board of Animal Care and Control to serve as an advocacy board as it relates to animal care and control, providing fundraising, and otherwise assist the administration of the city's animal care and control, providing severability, amending all ordinances, policies, or resolutions at variance, and declaring an emergency.
This is what Ms. Golden had requested at the last meeting. You had voted to go ahead and authorize me to do that. What this does is just codifies us that creation of the Animal Control Board. Essentially, it creates a new section because, again, this is a new board. It's kind of tailored based off of the previous ones with expanding on what kind of the responsibilities and duties are. So if y'all approve this, then of course y'all would have to then build a board.
Okay.
And so if, I can't remember, I don't have it in front of you, but I know I sent it to Lisa, so was there any changes or?
No, I was good with all of it.
Okay, so
Okay, a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to
you
approve.
need to do this one with an emergency as well.
With an emergency, okay.
Second,
I'll second.
vote.
Cameron,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
And so does that, do the members have to be, she just does that on her own, or?
Well, actually, y'all will have to appoint the members, and I think that's actually on the agendas. It wasn't
Okay.
on one of the drafts. Yeah, number 24.
Okay,
is-
sounds
So
good.
now that you've established it, now you can fill that board.
Okay, great. All right, moving on to item 13, presentation by Southwest Oklahoma Community Action Member Michelle Hawley. Michelle?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me this evening. My name is Michelle Hawley. I am the new RSVP Director. I work for Southwest Oklahoma Community Action Group. I have been the director here for about 4 months, but I have been with Southwest Oklahoma Community Action for 10 years. I have come out here and had the pleasure of meeting with the mayor, and I came out here on my own just to kind of scope out and see what Mangum was about, okay? Because I'm from New York. I've been here for 20 years, but I'm from New York, so I wanted to see what Mangum was about, other than the Rattlesnake Derby, okay? which that was interesting, okay? And what I noticed is the differential between people my age and the distance of the young children, okay? And I look to see that there's a huge deficit of what my program is meant to do. What I'm meant to do is to come out here and try to get senior citizens out. They have so much knowledge, so much experience, that it's just a wealth that we need to utilize and tap into. And my predecessor did try, but she was overwhelmed. I don't get overwhelmed very easily. So as I spoke with the mayor, what I would like to do is I would like to be able to talk with some of the local businesses and see, if we can have volunteers come in and help out, maybe stocking a shelf or at the food pantry, even start up one. Another thing that my program has is it's called a makeaway. If I can get anyone who is over 55 and above to volunteer, my program does offer 50 cents a mile. We will take individuals from Mangum who do not have vehicles. We will take them to doctor's appointments in Altus. We'll take them to a doctor appointment in Elk City. If I could get one localized, a driver locally, they could even take them to a doctor's appointment here or take them to United. This would benefit this community so much. And one item that is very near and dear to me, because I used to be a teacher, is that we need to get a lot of our seniors into the schools. We need to get them in there reading to the children, okay? With dual parents working, sometimes there's just not that time at night to be able to read to your child before they go to bed. Because you're coming home from work. You got to make dinner. You got to take care of the house. If we had 55 and above, possibly going into the schools, sitting down with kindergartners, sitting down with first graders, helping them with their homework, helping them read. Literacy is a big thing now. If we could help them read, that would take a little bit off of the parents. And I know I'm one of the big ones too. As a teacher, I had to be the mother, the father, the disciplinarian. But when you have two parents working or you have a single parent household, why should that child suffer? If we can have some of these senior citizens, and I don't want to consider myself a senior citizen, but I am 55 and above, okay? There's so much that we could do to help out this community. I mean, going and checking on the people that are at the housing complex as I drove into town, going and helping them out. If I have a car, hey, I'll take you to the grocery store, or I'll take you to the pharmacy. That is what my program is about. My program is about getting seniors from sitting on the couch thinking that they are worthless because little Johnny or little Jessie, they're not living around here anymore. Okay? They're not living around here anymore. Nobody comes and visits me. If we have that, I apologize for my phone, I did have it off. If we had where seniors would come in and check on seniors. I even have a pilot program that I do want to start here in Mangum. I don't want to start it in Altus where I am stationed out of. I want to start it here in Mangum and have a few over 55, I want to stop saying seniors, over 55 people turn around and call seniors and say, hey, how you doing today? Because a quick story, my daughter lives in Nebraska. She lived in this apartment building. Gentleman next door was 55 and above. Not a very talkative person. Well, come to find out, she hadn't seen him in about a week because he used to come outside and pick up his Amazon packages. Well, all of a sudden she smelled something. Well, my daughter ended up knocking on the door, and come to find out the individual behind that door had passed away 3 weeks prior, and no one ever checked on him. When she told me that, I was devastated for her, but I also thought, you know what, that can happen to any one of us that do not have family, close friends. In Mangum, we need to do this. And I'm willing to give you the resources. I'm willing to give you resources. If you can give me people, I can give you all kinds of these pamphlets. I can give you my business card. I can come out here 2 times a week if I need to meet with whoever you want me to meet with. But with little communities like Mangum, Hollis, and like that, that's where most of us, as we get 55 and above, want to live. It's not the hustle and bustle. So why should I give up worrying? And why should I have my daughter's worry, is Mom going to be okay if I don't talk to her this week? If they knew, hey, somebody's going to call and check on her. So I'm coming to all of you, police department, the fire department, you know, all of the business owners here in Mangum. You know, I have my business card here. I'll give you all one of these. Most of you already have them. Please, give me a shout out. I'll answer your phone. I'll answer your call anytime you call me, because this is where I want to help. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay, we'll move on to item 14, discussion and possible action on the request of Fair Board representative for the use of golf course or the community building for the Greer County Free Fair without charge.
My name is Cheryl Lively. Some of you do not know me. I'm the Greer County OSU Extension County Director. And so before I entered the building today, I was feeling really good, had a great day, and now I just realized I'm in her category, and it kind of brought me down. It brought me way down. So anyhow, I'll try to recoup. Well, no, I hit 55 last year. I was 56, so I really am over the category. So anyway, but no, I come to you today to ask. For the past 6 years, we've been without a facility as far as the fairgrounds go and our exhibit part. I know some of you drive by there maybe daily, and you're like, oh, that looks good. Well, that's what you see is what you get. There's absolutely nothing else on the inside. So we're still... the county is still in the process of trying to get that facility fixed. So where does that involve me? That involves me with the county fair. No, I'm not over the county fair, but my office is heavily involved in what all goes on with that. So I come to you because this is the Greer County Free Fair, and ask if we can once again use the golf course, the facility, to house the Greer County Fair that'll happen the Thursday, Friday, Saturday after Memorial Day, or excuse me, Labor Day. After Labor Day. So that's all I need. So y'all have any questions for me? I'll just drag myself back on over.
Thank you, Cheryl.
I do have canes. I do have canes. I do have all that.
Hey, come back anytime. Come back anytime.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion to allow the Greer County Free Fair to be held at the golf course at no charge.
I second that.
Vote.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Pooley.
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Okay, item 15, discussion and possible action to accept OMAG insurance claim for hail damage on city vehicles in the amount of $33,100.66.
So this was the claims check that we received for that major hailstorm, and that's what they gave us for our city vehicles.
We hadn't actually received the check yet. They were waiting for confirmation that this is what we will take, I guess.
To accept it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to accept the OMAG insurance claims for the hail damage.
Second,
I'll second it.
vote.
Hammond.
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Pooley.
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Item 16, discussion and possible action to fix the windshields in the city pickups and trucks covered only by liability insurance. An 87 Chevy dump truck, a 97 Kodiak chipper truck, 97 Dodge pickup, 2014 ACO pickup, not on the list, 2011 Ford Street pickup, not hail damage, and at the cost of $19,1075 at Goods Body Shop.
This is the cost to repair all of our windshields only for the vehicles, for the trucks.
Okay,
That wasn't covered by,
Right.
Was it covered by insurance?
they're covered by liability, but not for hail damage.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to fix the windshield of the trucks.
second,
I'll second it.
vote.
Hammond.
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Pooley.
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Item 17, discussion and possible action to accept loss report from OMAG on city building roofs from hail damage and to add extra funds as needed where the roofs were not covered because of previous claims on roofs being paid but not fixed.
Did you put the paperwork in their packet regarding the roofs? Okay.
Yes, it should have it in there.
So we need to accept what we were not covered on from before.
And so
Can I
then,
ask why they weren't fixed previously?
Well, that was before our time, but at some point or another, they had previous claims on them, and whatever was done with the insurance money was not repaired.
What happened to the money? Where is it now?
I'm not too sure. I wasn't present when that happened. I know that, did they tell us when the first one, did they give us a date? It might be in your reports, but, I know that the community center, I believe is, or not the community center, the
Fire department.
fire department and, the senior site,
Yeah.
meal site was one.
so
That
do,
had been, there was a claim on them before.
Well, but I thought they had fixed that one at the mill site, according to.
I don't think the mill site was one of them.
It was the,
Well, it
the
had a-
Welcome Center, sorry. Welcome
Okay.
Center was one, the, fire department, what else was on there?
I'm looking.
The shop, the fire department, the Welcome Center, I could swear was one.
Well, we got paid on that a couple months ago.
Yeah, but we already had one before that. That's why we had to vote on that in the last one, because they were done with it. There was a few that had claims before, and so it didn't cover now.
so do we have a, what it's gonna cost to get them fixed completely? And then what we're also getting?
That is on the agenda,
Okay, another item?
yeah.
Okay.
So are we gonna fix them now?
Well, the board approves that, so if you guys say yes, it's a yes.
So this one, I guess we just need to accept the loss report, and then item 19, is that the one where we discuss?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you find out which ones were not covered?
I don't have a list right here.
I believe there was 3 that were not covered, that had claims on them before, and they
Fire
weren't.
department's the one that sticks out to me, and,
I remember seeing the Welcome Center was like $400 or something.
The Welcome Center, the fire department, and Mr. Gamble is saying the shop.
And the senior citizen building leaks, and that's not,
So in the past, of the claims that they got, they did not repair the roofs. in
again,
these-
that Chris said
in
they
these-
were, but then it continued to leak.
Okay. So this one is really just a legality. We have to accept that loss
Yes.
report.
Well, you don't have to, but
If you want your stuff fixed.
Yes. most
A
definitely.
motion,
I'll make a motion to accept the loss report from OMAG.
second,
I'll second it.
vote.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Cooley,
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Item 18, discussion of possible action to declare the hailstorm an emergency in accordance with 61 OS 130A due to the hailstorm being a sudden, unexpected happening whereby the public health or safety is endangered or further damage to city property is likely if the situation is not addressed promptly.
So, but basically, I added this on the agenda because of the next item. This is a construction contract, and typically under a construction contract, you do have to follow the Competitive Bid Act when you get amounts over a certain dollar figure. Well, I mean, this likely will exceed that. Now you can exempt the bidding requirements basically by declaring an emergency, because again, if we don't get it fixed pretty much immediately, it will cause more of that. So for you to trigger the emergency clause in the Competitive Bid Act, you have to first declare an emergency, and then we can start looking specifically at the proposal for next phase. Alternatively, if you don't declare it an emergency, you're gonna have to do a whole lot more stuff, and it'd be like where the hospital's at, where you start the process in December, and I think now it's June, and they just, that's 6 months down the road. So this kind of helps expedite the repair of the roof from the hail damage.
Any questions or an action to approve the emergency declaration?
I'll make the motion to declare an emergency.
Second,
I'll second it.
vote.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Cooley,
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Item 19, discussion and possible action on the proposal by Next Phase Roofing to do inspections and repairs on all city building roofs.
Thank you for having me. It's my first time meeting some of you guys, but I've been working with Steve and Brian. We're the contractors working on the school, several churches here in town, several commercial properties. We're a licensed commercial roofing contractor, so this is what we do, insurance replacements after hailstorms. And so while this might seem like a very complicated thing, and it sounds to me like you guys have received the initial scope from the insurance company, basically what our proposal is to you guys is just the same process we're doing at the school, same process we're doing at all the churches we're working on in town. Is that first estimate often is not comprehensive of what the damages actually were. A lot of time you see this on your house, you see this on your cars, where a lot of times the damages that they list out, there's more that they didn't catch. So our proposal to you guys is to partner with the city, and we know that there's some roofs that were not paid for on this claim because they were included on a previous claim. And so, one, develop a game plan for those. How do we get those fixed within the basket of money that you guys have? And then, basically, the next steps for us would be, if you guys would like to move forward with us, would be same process we did at the school, where we would go building by building. We'll get your property schedule, and we'll go every building by every building and make sure that every single line item that needs to be on the estimate as far as the insurance is concerned is on there. And basically, we will put together a report in the same insurance software, so the pricing is exactly the same as the insurance uses. We don't charge X and they charge Y. We work in the exact same software system as they do, so it's really just a matter of, did they get the scope right? And once the scope is correctly identified and correct, they will accept our changes or suggest changes back to us, and then they will reissue you guys another estimate based off any additional damages that we find. Once they send you guys a revised estimate, we can partner with you guys and say, hey, these are our priority buildings. These are the types of roofs that need to go on. These are the warranties that need to be on all of these buildings. And then, but none of that happens until they've fully identified everything. And so what I would expect to happen is if you guys would approve us, basically we would come down here and it would probably take us a week to fully go through every single building, core all the roofs, make sure that if there's multiple layers of roofing, that they're compensating you guys for that. And then making sure that all of the insulation to meet building code is included within the estimate. And all of these charges are paid for by OMAG. They're not additional funds that we're seeking to ask the city, hey, pay us more money. It's just simply a fact of what is covered by the insurance gets sent to you guys. Once that final scope of work is approved, they will issue you guys new payments, and some of it will be up front, some of it will be after the work is completed. And then we would effectively have a new contract with you guys that shows which roofs are getting done and what all's going on them. And then if you guys approve that, start to work. And I apologize for this forum. Is there any questions you guys have for me? I know, like I say, I met with Steve and I met with Brian. We've done some repairs on some of the buildings for you guys, but are there any questions about this process that you would have for me in this thing?
Just needs to be done, right?
Yes, ma'am. And our interest is simply just partnering with the city and taking a bad situation and making it better for the city.
And that's helping us out a lot. Thank you.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yeah. And we're committed to do the legwork and to do all that. We don't have crazy fees, charge you guys for our services to come do all these reports and inspections. To give you an example, we had a public school down by Ada, Oklahoma last year, and their initial estimate came back. It was very light, just kind of very bare bones. We sent in like a 100-page report back to the insurance company with photographs of, we're not just saying this needs to be done, but here's proof why it needs to be done. And we would do that same process with you guys. We're doing the same process over at Mangum Public Schools. So the interest is to just make you guys happy and put quality products on with good warranties and leave things better than where they started, without dipping into additional funds from you guys. You guys have good insurance with OMAG. They have low deductibles. They have good coverage. So you guys have great insurance. And so there shouldn't be any reason why asking you guys for more money for these projects.
And so you're saying you should be able to do it without it costing us, with it just costing the insurance? Is that what you mean?
But in general, I haven't seen your policy. I haven't seen anything like that. But in general, you guys should be looking at your deductible, which should be fairly low. Everything else should be covered by the insurance company, and then except those 3 buildings that we talked about. But that's where we would like to get creative with some solutions for you guys. After we get the revisions and the changes, and you guys know what the total basket of money that you're working with from OMAG is, there might be some solutions for those roofs that were not paid for in this claim that we can help get some things, get a solution for it that makes those insurable again, makes them usable again, and this issue doesn't come up, a second time. So in short, your out-of-pocket should be your deductible. I haven't seen the policy to know that, but in general, if it's replacement cost, that should be what you guys are looking at.
They currently did patchwork for us in the fire department, and where else? The shop?
City Hall.
Oh, yeah,
police
City Hall
department,
also now.
The mill side,
Yeah.
and the shop, and the community center.
So they patched up what they could, just to save us, because it was raining for a couple of days, and we had leaks everywhere.
And those repairs should be billed to the insurance company as well. We didn't charge you guys direct for those, so I'm not even sure how we invoiced for you.
No.
So I think that would be a next step too. If we're going to go ahead and approve tonight, then we would just go ahead and submit that in, as part of the changes. There would be a little line item within your estimate towards the end that says temporary repairs, and our bill I think was $3,500. We were here for like 4 or 5 days.
So you guys have checked into it and you feel like this is the best option?
We actually had a few phone calls regarding regarding next phase, and from some pretty big people around the city that really do love their work. So we just asked them to come and speak tonight so we could get things done before it gets way worse.
I left some packets for you guys that have about 40 references in them that have our bonding. We carry $10 million bonding on all of our projects. I think we have 20 million total capacity. So we're financially stable. We're not asking for a bunch of money up front. Again, there's no financial commitment for our services to go put the legwork in and reduce the burden off of the city from a guy like Steve and his crew having to go manually look through that estimate that's hard to read sometimes and go identify all these things and back and forth with the insurance company. There's a lot of work that goes into that, and we're happy to step right in and do that with you guys. And I don't want it to be perceived like it's a thing where we want to come just take control of the situation. You guys never, it's not anything like that. It's really a partnership with you guys and the leadership that you've, elected for this. But I do have the packets for you.
Okay.
That's got information about us and,
Good.
yeah.
Questions, thoughts? Action?
I'll make a motion to accept the next phase roofing to do some inspections.
And I second.
Okay. Vote?
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Pooley,
Yes.
Goen.
Yes.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Item 20, discussion and action on the request from Mangum Housing Authority to retain the pilot funds in the amount of $76,8487 funds for this year, and so request the forgiveness for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2024. If Mangum Housing Authority's request to retain the pilot of the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2024 is not granted, then MHA is requesting relief in the amount of $2120 for the upkeep of the Mangum City property located west of MHA's facility, totaling 18 mowings at $75 per mow. It's $1,350, 2 sprays at $275, equaling $550, totaling altogether $1,900. This would leave a balance due to the city in the amount of $5,784.87. Irma, do you mind explaining the arrangement?
So we get this every year, and so from when I came in as city clerk, I was told that Mangum Housing, there's a part of it that's city property. And so we used to, I believe we used to do, take care of the cutting the grass and whatnot. And so now they have their maintenance, property maintenance guy do it. So that's just with what they get, we're allowing them to keep this, to mow themselves. So they have it at the 2 sprays, and then the mows and the whatever else they put in here. What did they do? 18 mowings at $75 per mow, the 2 sprays, and then totaling $1,900. So that would leave the city a balance of $5,784.87. But that's what that is. We used to take care of it before, and then they got their own maintenance now.
So what do we pay them the $5,700 or the $7,600 for, though?
We don't pay them anything.
Right.
A pilot payment is, it's.
Oh, in lieu of
payment in lieu
taxes.
of taxes.
Okay, gotcha.
Basically, when the federal government says, we're gonna take this piece of property to use for public, it takes it off the tax rolls. And so part of that program states that they have to pay pilot instead. Right next to the Housing Authority, which is between, I think, your store and the Housing Authority, is a big empty field. It's basically a floodplain. And that's actually designated a park for the city of Mangum. And that's what they take care of and mow and stuff. So when you walk up in, and it's all that entire area. So basically, what you're doing on this is you're saying that they can retain the pilot.
The taxes.
Gotcha.
So they've already got the check. They're just asking if they can keep their portion for the mowing to take care of that property.
I'll make a motion to let the Mangum Housing Authority retain the pilot payment.
Second?
I'll second.
Vote?
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Cooley.
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Item 21, discussion and action on the request from Terry Isaac on being the City of Mingham Emergency Management Director.
I left you all a piece of paper. I'm Terry Isaac. I have been working with Assistant Chief Olson for the last year and a half, almost 2 years, as co-emergency manager director. I started in emergency management back in 2007 under Glenady Edwards. She got me, my husband, and everything into it. At that time, we had a mowing business and mowed some houses out in Russell, which where the fire was. That's how we got started in it. It's a volunteer position for the city. County is a paid position. I'm weather certified from OK First for the state of Oklahoma, and I am also certified in emergency management with the state. I do have about 4 classes I do have to take that are online, and I have a year to do those. I can help with grants. I can help with FEMA funding. As Chief Gamble knows, I can help get food when there's a big fire. Matter of fact, the hay bales that were on fire and this last one down here by the river, I secured food donations for them through Pizza Hut. Got them fed, and they all went right back to work and were fine. Thank you.
Any questions?
I do have some concerns on this action. I have seen some social media posts that Mrs. Isaac has commented on, and she bashes our city. And I feel like in a position that she wants to do or is doing or whatever, I feel if you're going to represent or do something, I feel like she should be for us. And I've seen a couple of comments that she's made on social media bashing our city, and I just don't feel in that position that if you're going to represent us, you're going to represent us. And so that's just how I feel about it.
How could this position help you, or do we have a need for this?
I think it's actually statutory.
Okay, so we have to have.
I think it's statutory. Can't remember what title it is, but I think it's a statutory.
Which is it's a representative of the city, and back in the day, our representative for the city, well, we had Glenady, I believe, back then, and then after that, Billy took care of all of that, so our clerk took care of everything that needed to be turned into the emergency management.
So is it something our clerk could do? Or is it?
I mean, our clerk did it after, even with Glenady. I mean, our clerk had to get all of the reports and the paperwork together regardless.
And they work with the county emergency management, and then if something should happen in our city, they
Correct.
could report, yeah.
I believe when Mr. Olson brought it to my attention when he first started on, I was kind of shocked that I think when you came in and you said you were the representative for the city and you didn't know how it started, and I said, well, that's odd because usually our clerk does it. So I don't even know how Mr. Olson was nominated. He just went with it, but I also told him, I said, well, usually our clerk handles that, so, but that was right when you first came in that we discussed
According
that.
to the people that run FEMA and all of that, technically this city has to have an emergency management because the county and that does not work, they can't work together.
For the cities and the county.
For the cities and the county. and that one over there, I ain't gonna mention her, but,
He knows what she's talking about.
I don't
We're
know
gonna
what
shut
you're
this
talking
down.
about.
We're gonna open this back up to the commissioners to discuss what the best action is. Okay, this is a good point for you guys to ask questions and get clarity on which way we need to go.
So do we have one right now? Like,
Technically, no. I mean, technically, I think it was Olson, but I won't have.
I do want to remind the public that this is the door in and out of this room.
Just for clarifications, I was filling in the position as I could. I was having a lot of trouble coordinating with the county emergency management on timeframes and all that, and getting invited to classes and all that. But also, it's too much for me to handle along with my other details. To be just completely clear about it, it's just too much workload for me to handle with everything else I have going on too. And rather than do a bad job, I just wanted somebody that was passionate about it and was into it to go ahead and do it. That's just where I was at with it. Any questions?
I just think maybe if we could just, I mean, there might be someone out in the city that might be willing to do it,
Like a city employee, you mean?
or, yeah.
I'm just gonna say, one thing, and I don't know about this specifically, but whenever I first came in as mayor and wanting to help in grants, it ended up being more of a hindrance for me in there, because then you just have to go to these people and ask them questions, whereas it really just created a middleman. And I don't know about this position and what it entails, but I know that it would have been easier to have left it to the people that have access to the records instead of one more person to ask for and deliver to.
Well, I believe that's when Mr. Olson had the issue back when it started, because he kept coming to us trying to find the paperwork for it when he first was approached about it. And it was when we had that freeze where FEMA was involved, I think it was when COVID started in 2021, and he came to us and he actually said, he goes, I just don't have time to dig out all this paperwork. And so we ended up taking over, and I believe it was brought to the board because we got that extra $4,000 when we figured out something wasn't paid right. So that was his first issue with it.
So would that be giving Ms. Isaac access to our financials for the city and for the purpose of grant writing?
Well, if it's grant writing, she would have to have financial information.
I guess I don't feel comfortable with that, because you're giving an outside person access to the city's financial, and they're not employed by the city. I mean, they don't take a...
To be clear, the city's finances is completely open record.
I know, but I mean...
So anybody off the street can ask for a full financial report of the city. So it won't be, as it relates for financials, it won't be given information to anyone that isn't already publicly available.
Public, okay.
Working on it on a daily basis, like you said, Mayor, I mean, it was a hard task when you worked on our 2 grants, so it is time consuming, and it is sitting down one-on-one with somebody in here. But I do know Glenady was ours before, and then after that, then our clerk handled it for still until Joshua came on board.
So we need to take action or no action?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, on the item that's presented, yes. Either you need a motion to approve, or you can take no action and move on, one or the other.
I'll make a motion to take no action.
You don't have to move to take no action, just say
No
no
action.
action. If there's no other motion to entertain, then we just need a
Any other motions? Okay. We do thank you, Ms. Isaac, for the offer. And we appreciate what you do for the county. Item 22, discussion and possible action to accept the best and most reasonable bid proposals to outsource payroll and human resources, Exodus, Gusto, and Paychex. Commissioner Golden.
Hold on, I went dark. Oh, there I am. What number are we on?
It is 21.
22.
Oh, yeah, 22, sorry.
Sorry. I went dark and lost everything. Oh, that's way. I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, so I got the, quotes on these, we got 3 of them. They're not in normal people terms, so I need to kind of do a little bit more research on looking at them and find out what we would save as the city by not having it, to see if we can afford it, because some of them, they give you all these little line items, but then they have little add-ons, and then you can't figure out what it is. So I just need to do a little bit extra clarification on that.
Okay.
So I would like to table it for the time
Okay.
being.
Sounds good.
Can you put the word motion in front of that?
Oh, yes, I would like to motion that we table that.
Second,
I'll second.
vote.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Pooley,
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Discussion and possible action to changing the library's internet service provider from Sparklight to Dobson Fiber. Joseph March.
You guys already have copies of the bill. Currently, the library's internet service is through Sparklight. We get 500 megabits per second through their service. And it costs us $184.71 per month. Our contract with them ends in August, and we got an offer from Dobson Fiber. And I have some quotes for various services and for various terms. I would like to propose that we go for the 1 gigabit 5-year contract, because that would over double our speed and still be less than the current price. So we would get a big upgrade in service, and we've already have this money budgeted for this coming year. So it wouldn't cost us anything in addition.
Awesome.
And the 5-year contract would let us lock in this price instead of having to worry about prices increasing over time.
Very good. Seems easy. Any questions?
The only, if we're saving money, we're saving money, but I do want to, I always have to draw attention to this one provision in the state constitution that says that we as the board cannot obligate funds beyond 1 fiscal year. So in the past, there's some clauses that, I know these are kind of form contracts, but I've had other entities that allow us to add it in there that basically specifies that, because we can't, like, for example, in 4 years, can't compel y'all to spend money that, you have to count the dollar before you can spend the dollar. So that's the only hesitation in a 5-year agreement. You can do it, but I think we need to just add an addendum, and I've had companies out. I'm sure Dobson probably would do, it basically acknowledges that fact that this board is entering this contract, but the other entity acknowledges that we can't obligate next year's funds until next year. And so, you know, if there's not sufficient not sufficient financial information to meet the obligation in the future, then that should get us out of the contract. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's the only hesitation of 5-year agreement. So,
Okay.
with that caveat, then.
So how would that motion need to be worded?
I would say a motion to approve the contract with the amendment specifying that we can't obligate funds through Young this week. And then I can get that and email it to him, and he can just attach it or whatever.
Okay.
And as long as they accept that, we're good to go. Like I said, I've had most companies will accept that.
Okay. Motion?
Whatever he just said.
Okay. Carolyn, second?
I'll second.
Vote?
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you.
Item 24, discussion and possible action to nominate and appoint Animal Control Board. Commissioner Golden.
Okay, I've got several people in mind, and I'm trying to be a little particular. I want them to have some sort of something in the animal world. One of the ladies that I have in mind, she's going to vet school, and she works for the vet in Hobart. I have her, and then I really want somebody with connections that can help, like with volunteers and organizing, stuff like that. So I've been kind of selective, but I am working on that.
Okay. So do we need to table that for now, or do you have any to nominate and appoint?
I would like to table it for the moment.
Okay.
Yes,
Is that a motion?
Motion to.
Second?
I'll second.
Vote?
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Okay, item 25, discussion and possible action to approve the police department to apply for Oklahoma Safe Grant. Mr. Olson?
Thank you. Just like last year, I'm working towards the Oklahoma Safe Grant. We're looking for 2 different options, trying to see if we can find, if it's available to get funding to purchase a vehicle, and if not, to then substitute that request for more equipment that we need. There is an expansion on the way it's done now. It's done all online, and I have to set up through sam.gov, and I think there's like 6 or 7 different websites you have to register for to get through the process. It's quite extensive now. It's horrible, and I'm disappointed, but you got to do what you got to do. And so I just need permission to start working toward that. And I believe the end date will be the 25th of July is when we need to apply for. So permission this month would help me to get to that point.
Okay.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you for working on that.
Okay. Yeah. Don't do grants through that.
A motion to approve. Joshua would work on that.
I'll make a motion to approve the police department to apply for the Oklahoma Safe Grant.
Second.
I'll second
Vote.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Dooley,
it. Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Item 26, discussion and possible action to approve payment of invoice number 250-1M001 in the amount of $34,975.55 to ARC Architecture LLC for architecture services related to the Mangum Regional Medical Center re-roof project. The payment should be processed out of the insurance money received related to the project.
This invoice was supposed to be on, we actually were supposed to get paid for that last month, and we received an invoice, but it was left out of the agenda. So, we just.
That's why ARC reached out and said, hey, can you give us an update on the invoice? And so we put it on there for y'all to approve it.
Okay. A motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the invoice number 25001M.
Second.
I'll second it.
Vote.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Item 27, discussion of possible action to approve the policy packet regarding setting up new accounts for utility services.
Okay, so this is in regards to the incident that we had last week. And so I went back and forth trying to make things better for everybody. And so I went back and found in 2009, we were whoever was here before was sending out the letters regarding updating paperwork and keeping the deposits up to date. So that's been happening since 2009. In 2010, they talked about a letter was sent out regarding the kilowatts and going over the kilowatt usage and making it a residential status. In 2018, it was voted and brought up regarding the deposits for our customers. So since 2009, probably before that, 2010, the packet, the policy, the requirements, the amounts were all an ongoing thing from the beginning of time. But regarding the paperwork and getting somebody who's sick or is ill to get their paperwork done, our current application is sitting in front of you all somewhere. And it starts off with the residential contract. On the contract, it does state everything that we need to start new utilities. It does say that I want to change on the, to start new service, it's from 8 to 4. As I told the staff, our customers don't know when our summer hours change. We try to post it, we contact the paper at times or post it up on Facebook. In the summer, it gets very hot, of course, Oklahoma is very hot. So our customers don't know that the guys come in earlier during the summer. Steve, you guys start at what, 6:30?
7.
And so they leave at 3. So I'm requesting to, on our current contract, to change that 4 p.m. to 3, just so everybody is aware and can be here. Of course, if we have our guys here, we'll continue to go past 3 o'clock. The problem that we were having before is calling the guys out of their homes and having to come do, then we pay overtime for them to come out. But we also will be having a meeting and discussing when we need to call our guys out in an emergency if somebody is sick or it is very hot and we need to do a reconnect for whatever reason. So currently, right now, this is what our contract is requiring. So I want to change the hours on there. It does say that it has to be in person. I do want to try to start with emailing. If you can email, or we can get something where it can come directly to us so they don't have to drive to us if somebody is sick and can't come out of the vehicle. So I'm requesting to try to get some applications emailed to us. The paperwork before, like I said, the contract states right now it has to be signed in person. At the top of it, the application, it says all contracts for service must be applied for in person, and that's by the actual customer. So I want to add an attachment to this application that you'll see on this form where it's got the city's lease agreement, where they will be allowed to attach documentation to say so-and-so is allowed to rent or lease or whatever the case may be, and they're given permission for Mr. Kimball to be inside of the home. So we want to use the City of Mangum's document just to super basic, the owner, the tenant, the address, and the acknowledgement of the landlord on the bottom of that. And that will also help with, like we said, if somebody is sick or can't come to City Hall to get this done. Before, we were never allowed to do it by email. We were not allowed to do it. COVID times taught us to do it over the phone or by email or online. I'm trying to work with our online services currently to try to get our applications online and available for them to apply there as well.
So just out of curiosity, how do they verify online? Like if they send in 2 forms of ID, how do you verify?
Well, right now we
that
don't
it
have
is?
online. Right now you have to be here in
Okay.
person. So this will help that verification to say,
Okay.
Mr. Kendall is allowing Mr. Hammond to rent this by filling out this form and attaching your document. Our emails are very secure. Joseph does a really good job of securing our emails. So I've researched a lot of cities, and one of those that has it amazing and even uses the same website we do, you can upload those documents through there, and it comes directly to us, and then we'll verify if there's a past due bill or whatnot, and then we can just assign approved or not approved. That will help where people have a situation where they can't come out of their homes, or they are sick, or someone is handling utilities for someone else. So I want to get that changed and get removed on the in-person part of currently in the application.
But I guess what I mean is if they email all of that in, how do you verify that it's that person emailing? You know, like
Well, on the
two
bottom of
forms
the document that you see that's got the city where the tenant information, it'll have to just upload your ID on the bottom of it. And I went off, like I said, I went off of several cities. Midwest City requires 2 documents from the landlord, but we're just gonna require 1 document from the landlord. Midwest City does 2, like I said. The rest of the application that we require is the 2 forms of ID.
But do they have to be picture ID? Because really, it should only be 1 with the picture, right?
Right.
It is just 2 forms of a government ID. It's not 2 pictured IDs. It's just 2 forms of government. I did talk with Mr. Kendall regarding this situation. There is a form that I done lost already somewhere in here. Also, I want to try to lessen up the packet, because that is a lot of the complaint, is we have 5 pages of a packet. Mr. Kendall reached out to me and asked me, how do our customers know what documents to use? I informed Mr. Kendall that we use what an I-9 requirement is. He made a point and said, do we have it on the actual application? And we don't. But we have, I lost it, but it's here somewhere. You guys probably have it in front of you.
Are you talking about this?
Requirements?
Yes, that will
Okay.
state what they need, and that will just start to be as part of the packet, so our customers know what they need to
Good.
start new services. So there isn't so many, what do we need, what don't we need, what
Right.
qualifies, what doesn't qualify.
Makes sense.
I'm trying to remove a couple of these papers from here.
So what have they done in the past before you had the 5 sheets?
This is the past. The 5 sheets is the past. Like I said.
Well, that's what I said. What did you have before that? The 5 pack?
Well, this is what I've had since I've been here in 2016. I don't know what they used before me, but this was a packet that was presented that we gave in 2016. Nothing has changed since I have been here, except for they've added the EMS fee on this and the color of the paper, I believe. Because this has been here since Mary Jane's been with us.
Well, when I had to do this the other day, it wasn't on a rental house, it was my house. I had to have 2 IDs.
Correct.
Picture IDs.
And that's still gonna stay the same.
But
is the
most
2
places you only have
It's not pictured
1.
ID. It's,
But it
so I don't know where that.
Honey,
comes
I
from.
had to have 2. I brought them both.
2 photo IDs?
Yes, I did. I had, I might have cheated on one of them because I didn't have 2, but when I lived in Florida, I was with the Coast Guard Auxiliary. And I used that, and I used my driver's license because they were both photos.
Well, we go off of the I-9 form. We go off of the I-9 form. So that's what we use for the documentation. But, as Mr. Kendall asked, he said, how do
We're gonna
our
ask the
customers-
audience to please be quiet.
As Mr. Kendall stated that day, he said, how do our customers know what they're supposed to present? So I'm asking to add that as just when a customer, even by email, even by the website, the customer will know what they need to have to start new services.
I'm sorry to say one more thing, but older people may not have computers and things to fill this stuff out.
Well, we're not saying that you can't come to City Hall. We're not saying that at all. This says you have to be here in person. So I want to update it to say in person by email or by our website. Because some people can't come here in
Okay.
person.
If they don't come in person, can they not just come to the building and one of our employees go out there?
If we have that availability, absolutely.
Well, I've had to do things
Absolutely.
like that before.
We as well. We did the same
So-
thing during COVID. And I believe that the incidents last week, they asked to go to, one of my girls asked, I can go out, I can step outside. The case is that I'm trying to make this easier for every customer here to turn on utilities. So instead of just in person, because that is the current requirement that we've had since Mary Jane was mayor, even before then, this contract is the same from the beginning of time since I've been here. It says they have to be here in person. I want to change it and update it to be in person, by email, or by our website. As soon as I can get the website up and running, I'm gonna ask Joseph to help me to try to straighten that out a little bit. But that's more options to try to get these contracts filled out versus having to bring in someone who's not able to come up here.
Okay. So we're changing that, we're changing the hours on the contract and removing the after-hour reconnect fee.
The after-hour reconnect fee, we stopped that, if, Mayor, you might remember, but we stopped the after-hours when we lost the dispatch to the county. We stopped the after-hour service. We don't have anybody to do after-hour services. Before we did after-hours, because the county collected the money and the deposits for us, we don't have them to collect money for us currently.
Okay.
So we don't have the after-hour services anymore.
So we need a motion to approve the policy packet as presented.
Well, no, she's making changes, so what you need to do is you need to approve her to make those changes, but I still think the final packet after those changes needs to come back to the board, and then y'all then would approve the new packet.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the changing of the packet.
I'll second it.
Vote?
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Okay. 28, discussion of possible action into closing the lobby doors on door knockers and cutoff days and only taking the payments made via website or through the city's Dropbox located right across City Hall.
So this also is on the day of cutoff and the day of a door knocker day, of course, gets hectic because nobody wants to have their utilities cut off. So again, on a cutoff day, in the past, we've had that locked up outside to where, because we would have people that would say, I dropped off my payment in the box, it's there, and then we wouldn't cut somebody off, and then their payment wasn't there. So years ago, they locked that drop box outside on the day of a cutoff day. Everybody would have to come inside and pay on a cutoff day. Well, it gets intense because, of course, nobody, in the middle of the heat, nobody wants this to get cut off. So we also are requesting, where we have this option, to pay outside of the drop box, to pay online. Right now, we have problems with our online because if you pay on those days, it takes 3 days to get here. As I was trying to present something to our Municode, Civic Plus, in updating our website to add these applications, they said that there is a way where they can email us every time somebody makes that payment online, but it comes in as a pending. And that was a problem we were having before. It was a pending, and 2 days later, the dollar amount wouldn't go through, and then it would decline. And then here we are doing a door knocker again 3 days later. So right now, to settle everything down on these intense days, if we have these different options for them to pay, unlock that on the day of a cutoff, and take online, we monitor these payments coming through. it might save the tensions from even our customers who, but those are more options for payment on the day of a cutoff day.
So I have questions. So on, of course, on cutoff days, and if you have them go online, it takes 3 days, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying, is I've worked with them.
Would you be I mean, it would.
What they're willing to do, what they're going to do is they're going to open it up to where every single time somebody makes a payment, it will come through our emails.
Okay.
And it'll show pending on our end, because the actual money doesn't get processed for about 3 days.
3 days, yeah.
But we'll take the pending.
Okay.
And we'll
So
monitor the
They
pending.
wouldn't be able to get a shut off if you
Yes.
if you have a pending
Correct.
payment. Okay.
Correct.
So you're also saying that closing the lobby doors is because they'll make the payment out there?
And we'll
outside?
leave the drop box open. Leave the drop box open.
What time would you close the lobby doors?
And I want this community to know we're not shutting the doors because it's a cutoff day and we don't want to help anybody. I have a job duty to do as well to make sure that everybody is safe. On a disconnection day, it is a very intense day. It is very intense. It is very hard for us to say, you have to pay your bill even though it's 100 degrees outside because you don't qualify for this and this and this. And the tensions get very intense, as anybody would. But we have a job to do, and we have to say we can't help you sometimes after so many times, because we also have a policy that says if you have this in between a 12-month period, we can't help. We follow these rules that were set, these policies that were set before we all got here. We follow these, and until we change that or make it easier, we get hammered for following these rules. And I understand the customers as well, because we want to help our customers, and we do, and we need to, and we will take care of that in-house internally as far as how we handle the customer service. That's going to change. Our customer service is going to change. We will be having people come down here and talk to us about customer service and how we can get that changed. But for everybody to be taken care of, open up that drop box on the day of, taking these payments on the day of, monitoring it that way so the customers don't have to come in here and there isn't this please help me kind of thing, when sometimes our hands are tied. Sometimes we also have explanations. I told Mr. Kyle that the other day, Mary Jane will know, we also have things that we have to explain. Email after email after email that we got all day yesterday from our auditors asking us, why are you guys past due on this? Why do you have this many people on your list who have not paid? What have you done? We have no answers. We have $500,000 in unpaid utility bills to this day.
How much did you say?
$500,000. And Mr. Kyle can explain it. It was his first experience yesterday with our auditors asking us, where's your deposits, right? They wanted to see everybody who paid deposits and how much, because they go off of the policies we have set. So if our policies say 150 and 300, that's what we better have on our register. If we say we're going to give a penalty once every 12 months, we need to give a penalty once in 12 months instead of 10, or, vice versa. Because when they stand in here, then they start telling you all, we are not following the policies you all have set, as she did when she stood in here months ago. So these are just some easier options to try to get things to be calm and try to get everybody to pay, and different versions to pay versus it's a cutoff, everything is locked up. This is the only way you can come and pay is if you come inside City Hall.
I have to say, this is always my rant or anthem, is we are a public service company, and so it is very important to me that as a city that the perception of the people is better. And I think that's something we can greatly improve, not just the girls in the front, the city in general. And so I think that's something we can work on. I think any business you have, you can always work on customer service. And that is something we need to work on. But I will say, I reviewed some of the videos from last week of numerous customers, and these girls take a beating. It is sad what happens in there. And, yeah. So whatever we need to do to help with, we need to work on our customer service, but we do also need to protect our people.
The people take a beating also.
Agreed. We need to work on our customer
My lady
service.
was out for 4 days in Sandy Duffers and the hospital. And we had the money, the paperwork, the IDs, we had everything. I made about 6 trips up to City Hall to take care of this.
Okay, so we're gonna limit the audience and commissioners' questions, concerns, thoughts. This is the time to discuss.
May I ask a question? What is a door knocker cutoff day? I've never heard of this.
A door knocker day is when we go put door knockers on everybody's doors to remind them that their bill, that their utilities will be shut off in the next 48 hours. So it's a reminder that you have to pay because disconnection will be in 2 days from the door knocker day. So it's a reminder after your bill, your utility bill that tells you your bill is due on the 10th of the month. So on the 18th of the month, if we have not received your utility money, we put a reminder. So my guys and girls prepare door knockers and go deliver 100 and something door knockers to remind you or whoever to pay their utility bill, or else it will be cut off on cutoff day, which is the 22nd of the month. So we do a door knocker day, and we prepare for door knockers, and we get everything ready and put it on your door to remind the customer that their bill is past due.
So if I needed to come down here to City Hall on the 22nd to do anything, I can't come in because y'all's afraid of people coming in and paying their bills?
We're not afraid of people coming in and paying their bills. We're going to open up these sections so everybody can pay their bills.
But you're talking about putting it in a drop box out here instead of taking their money?
The drop box is closed on that day already.
Oh.
The drop box is closed. They lock it up on the 22nd of the month on a cutoff day. We're opening that to give access to pay. So opening up that drop box, opening up our online, more options to pay on a cutoff day.
And you can still come in here?
Well, that's what we're discussing.
Good. I mean, I've only got a door knocker deal once. I called y'all and asked you what it was. Y'all put it on the wrong door. I've never been late on one of my bills.
It is a very
37
tough.
years.
It is a very tough situation as far as getting and preparing 200 or 300 door knockers and our guys going out in 100-degree weather and delivering those to remind somebody to pay their bill when their utility already says your bill is due on the 10th of the month.
Yeah,
So
but I
they
only got
do
one.
the extra.
It was
So we're
supposed
going to put
be
this
two
on
houses
hold
down.
till next meeting? Is that what was said?
I don't think anything was said yet.
Well, the public speak at the next one? I mean,
Yeah, nobody's made a motion to do anything on
okay,
this
I
one
thought
yet.
that's what this was for.
Is that what we need to do, is make a motion
I don't
to,
care what we think.
You could, again, there's several things you could do. Number one, you could table the whole thing. Number two, you can make a motion to, for example, allow the other avenues of payments. Or number three, you can do a motion to table part of it and approve the other. Or you can do some reject, you got all, but there's two requests to the board under this item. Number one is to create more avenues for citizens to pay in the form of using the Dropbox and the website. And the second ask in this request is lock in the city door or the lobby doors on door knocker and cutoff days. So that's the two requests that this thing's asking for. So you can, so it's up to you on what you want to do.
So is door knocker day, is it as bad as cutoff day? I mean, as in people?
No.
So if we just maybe shut the lobby down on cutoff days, would that?
That would help.
If you have something to say, it is the best time to say something.
No, won't do any good. I'm just against shutting the doors, locking the doors. This is Mangan people. We're trying to be nice. We want them to be nice. We've got to treat our people like they're human. And I don't like the idea of locking the door to anyone. So.
That's fair.
None of the towns I represent lock their doors on those dates.
They don't?
They do not.
Thank you.
Well, just well, because even if you go in to pay on that day, they tell you, we're shutting you off and we can't turn it back on until tomorrow. It's 3 o'clock. I said, well, the paperwork
Corey.
says 4 o'clock. And I was told, don't matter what the paperwork says.
Okay, all right.
Courtney, we're going to have to ask you to leave if you can't just listen.
I can't.
Okay.
This is ridiculous. This is for the public.
I wanna-
Y'all could care less about the public.
I want to remind
Y'all don't want
everybody
to know, but
that
I'll make sure they do.
a city meeting is a meeting for the city council to conduct business. There are times that you can always talk to your commissioners, mayor, city manager, if you need to discuss something. But this is unfortunately not the time to just have open discussions. Okay, so do we have any thoughts? Do we want to look at other avenues to make it safer?
I think opening up the website and opening up the Dropbox would help tremendously.
I know back in the year, I believe, Mary Jane, you might be able to maybe remember or not. I know that when they closed that Dropbox was for that very reason, was I dropped it in the Dropbox, it's there, you cut me off, and it should be there, and then that's why they would drop it or lock it up on that day to where everybody had to come inside, so we don't cut somebody off that, should, or leave somebody on that should have been. So they stopped that way before I started working here. That was closed already.
Well, the lady that was here the other day that could not come up, and that was some relative of hers, they had everything, but they wouldn't turn it on because the lady was out there. They called me.
Well, like I said, I
And I
reviewed
said,
the
"I'm not
video
through.
with
I'm not
the
through."
mayor. The mayor's seen every single step of that day, from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday that day.
Okay, this isn't the time to discuss a specific instance, and we can discuss that, but this isn't it. And so right now, it is policy that we are discussing.
No, we're past the policy. We're asking, should we lock the doors or not?
That would be a policy, wouldn't it, Corey?
Not really.
How are we going to handle business?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what we're after.
Policies are typically
How will we
written.
handle business? That's the question.
So,
So thank you for clarifying. So how will we handle business, guys, commissioners?
So currently, we don't have a way to make a payment on a website because you need to get that established.
We don't, it doesn't go through the website because it's not in real time.
Okay, okay.
When you pay on the website, it's kind of like Amazon. If you pay on Amazon, it tells you, thank you for purchasing whatever, and the next day, it's gonna say you don't have enough funds on there.
Right.
So when you make a payment on the website, it says thank you for making a payment, and then we get the call saying, I paid online. Mayor, I believe you even got one of those people say, here's my confirmation number, and then we say, oh, okay, and then it declines the next day. So then we have to go back out and do another cutoff on the next day, and it's just a little ongoing cycle. We've talked about that online service 5 times, I believe.
Another option would be just a thought that we could table this and maybe the commissioners should come one by one and just view some videos of footage of the way things happen on cutoff days. And then maybe we could make a decision or even come up with some alternate ideas. It may not be the best ideal to close down the doors, but we do need to come up with some idea to keep peace, to make customer service across the city better, and figure out how to get through this. So if nobody has any action or a motion, does anyone have a motion?
I'll make a motion to table it.
Okay. Second?
I'll second.
Vote.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Dooley,
Abstain.
Golden,
Yes.
29, discussion and possible action to enter into executive session to discuss the employment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of any individual salaried public officer or employee, specifically the city manager, in accordance with 25 OS 307 1B1. A motion to go into executive session, someone?
I'll make a motion to go in executive session.
Second?
I'll second.
Vote.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Follow the trail.
Just went blank. What do we need? A motion?
Motion to,
Resume regular session.
Okay, yeah. Motion to come back into session.
I'll make a motion to come back into regular session.
Second?
I'll second.
Vote.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Okay, no action. Item 31, discussion and possible action to enter into executive session to discuss the employment, hiring, appoint, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of any individual salaried public officer or employee, specifically the city clerk, in accordance with 25 OS 307B1. Vote, please.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
I'll second.
Vote.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Meeting.
I'll make a motion to come back into regular session.
Second.
I'll second.
Vote.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Okay, no action at this time. Item 33, discussion and possible action to enter into executive session to discuss a pending human resources complaint, claim, investigation, or action with the advice of its attorney. Disclosure would seriously impair the ability of the public body to process the claim if accordance with 25 OS 307B4. A motion to enter executive session.
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session.
I'll second.
Vote.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Okay, Carolyn.
Oh, crud. It's past my bedtime.
Let's have a motion to go back. It's okay. He doesn't have to vote on this.
He can
Motion to
abstain.
go back into regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to go into regular. meeting.
Second.
I'll second.
Now
Vote.
30.
Hammond,
Abstain.
oh,
Huh?
I said Hammond.
Hammond abstained.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just mark him as abstained.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Okay, no action.
You know, just that I want to finish doing an investigation. We'll report on when, hopefully the next 2 weeks on the conclusion of it.
Okay, perfect.
You abstained on the last one.
All right. Any remarks or inquiries by the governing body member, city manager, attorney, or city employees? Any new business?
I got some. Just come in yesterday, a couple of invoices from our auditors for $650 apiece. Just need a motion to pay them, I guess.
Okay, motion, please.
I make a motion, we pay the auditors
Second?
I'll
No, sorry.
I'll second.
Vote.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Dooley.
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Any other new business, Steve?
No, ma'am.
A motion to adjourn, please.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Yeah, third.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee.
Yes.
Dooley.
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Okay, adjourned. Moving to the NUA. Roll call, please.
Hammond,
Here.
Huckabee,
Here.
Manasco,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
All right, we have a quorum. The consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I'll second.
Vote.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Manasco,
Yes.
Dooley,
Uh-huh.
Golden.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, remarks by the audience.
Too long, huh?
Okay, moving on to item 5. Discussion and possible action to accept 98 utility poles from AT&T that is currently being utilized by the Mangum Utility Authority. In exchange, the MUA will cap AT&T's pole rental rate to $10 per pole for 10 years.
Yes, so these AT&T poles, they did their audit, and so they found out about the, I think they said that they wanted to, what was it before, like, the rate or something had changed, or something had changed, so they want us to accept the 98 poles from AT&T that, by the MUA, in exchange to cap it at $10 per pole for the next 10 years, because the rate was different. Although I don't have the original contract because it's old, so.
Do you know what the rate was?
It was significantly higher than the
Yeah.
rate we've given everybody else.
So is $10 appropriate?
I think so.
That's standard.
Mhm.
And that's
Because what is our
Dobson-
last one? like-
Dobson.
Yeah. No, Dobson I think was still a little, no, I think you're right.
So do you guys recommend that we approve this?
I do.
Okay, a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the 98 utility poles.
Second?
I'll second.
Vote?
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Manasco.
Yes.
Dooley.
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Item 6, discussion and action to approve invoice 223009-9 to Myers Engineering for DWSRF project in the amount of $4708.75.
This is for the project going down towards,
Lagoon?
is this the lagoon?
No.
Is this the one by Mangum Brick?
Yes, it's on the
Yes,
highway.
on the highway.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the one that we pay and then get reimbursed.
Okay, so a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I'll second.
Vote?
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Manasco.
Yes.
Dooley.
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Discussion and possible action to approve reimbursement payment via direct deposit made to the City of Mangum by ODOT in the amount of $5210 for the payment of invoice 220416-6 to Myers Engineering for the waterline relocation of State Highway 283.
Yes. Same.
Okay.
Project out there by,
We had that backwards.
we should
The
have
first one
accepted
should have
it
been for
first.
the lagoons, the second one was for the highway project.
Okay, oh yeah, State Highway.
And the invoice number, I'll make a note of it, the invoice number is different on the agenda than it is on the invoice. It's two numbers transposed.
Okay. All right, so a motion to correct that and approve?
Yes.
Second? Or who made it? Did anybody make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Second?
I'll second.
Vote?
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Manasco.
Yes.
Dooley.
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Any staff or board remarks?
Just back of the pole thing, I found it. Dobson, we charge $2 per pole per year. And then Sparklight, we get about $8,000 a year from Sparklights, whatever that is.
So we definitely want that one.
Yeah, so $10 is a good rate.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Any staff or board remarks?
That's it.
That's it?
Any new business? Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Yes.
Take your choice.
Hammond,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Manasco.
Yes.
Dooley. Golden.
Yes.
I got lots of papers to sign.
Uh-oh.
You're free to make that one, Kim.